About that. Can you hear now? Hope you can. You can't. Okay. Thank you. Can you hear now? Anthony can't hear either. Okay. So we've got the Yeti microphone. Can you hear me yet? You can now. Thank you very much. Good stuff, Anthony. Thank you very much, Rick, for your feedback. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's all new stuff to me, all this, Streamlabs. I'm not a techie, so there will be some niggly bits. There's no echoing or anything, I hope. I hope you can see all the screens as I go along. We've got Soccer 24, got the In-Play Guru, and we've got Fairbot here. So hopefully you can see all of that, and we can get cracking soon. So this is the In-Play Guru. This is the In-Play Stats feed. I'm just going to get that prepared. Let's get rid of some of these extra leagues that we don't really need. So Croatian HNL1 league is the only real league we need in Croatia, so get rid of all the others. So I'll just keep monitoring here. Gone quiet again. No, it's fine. Oh, thank you. So I'm using the Yeti microphone, so hopefully I'll just get myself sorted out here. Got Football 24 up. I'll just get comfortable. See if we can get the mic in some place where it's near enough to my voice. And then we need Football 24 up for the streaming of the correct scores as they come in. So that will be on a separate device. And Football 24 is spelt F-U-T-B-O-L, football. So if you can get the app or the website, but I prefer to use the app because it's separate from the computer, so I don't have to keep checking. And the great thing about Football 24 is it will alert you whenever there's a goal. And what I've done here, Soccer 24, is to highlight all of the odds-on favourites today in all of the leagues of interest, and these will give us trading angles as well, particularly if the underdog scores first, or if it's 0-0 at half time, or if there's a red card somewhere, we'll be alerted to that. For example, yesterday, odds on favourite Utrecht, 0-0 at half time, so you've got a potential angle in there if you fancy it. Lay the draw, hope the favourite scores first. Simple as that. 1.22 you can see there as well. And it's 0-2 to Empoli against Sassuolo. As you can see, they haven't come up, so there's not an odds-on favourite match. But it could be one of interest. Hull and West Brom at the moment. Top 6 clash, so two sides in with a playoff place chance. So this could be a kind of a derby style match, but coming to an end now. So looks like the draw. I don't think we'll be playing the beach football today either. Czech 1 league just started. There we go. We've got a potential here, as you can see. So we've got a 1.65 favourite at home, a goal down to a side with 3 consecutive defeats. 20 dangerous attacks to 5. So I'll immediately, on the In-Play Guru, stick that one in my watch list. I think we can get rid of KUPS. They are a side to watch when the Finnish league returns. Really good, solid trading side, KUPS. Well worth having on your side. So Teplice and MFK Karvina. So I will be starting officially at 2:30. I just wanted to make sure. And thanks very much for your feedback, because obviously everything's going okay at the moment. So those are the only key websites we need. We're just waiting for the mayhem of the German Bundesliga, where Stuttgart looked like very strong favourites today against a Köln with only 3 wins all season, or 4 wins all season I think, and Darmstadt only 3 wins all season. Werder Bremen could go back to winning ways. And don't forget, you've got your spreadsheet today. Please make use of it. Go to footballtradingprofits.club. Go to the research section, or even the review preview, or put it in the research section as well. What this does, it just gives you a breakdown of today's research in chronological order. So for example, Sassuolo and Empoli, which is 0-1, it wasn't 0-2. Both teams have scored in the last 3 away for Empoli. Empoli are unbeaten in 5 matches, so I would have preferred Sassuolo to have scored first with those set of stats. So in Germany, we've got Borussia Mönchengladbach. 10 out of 15 goals conceded at home have come second half. Bochum have scored and conceded in the last 4 matches. Mönchengladbach have failed to score in 3 out of 4 recent matches. And a Stuttgart match, no 0-0 at half time at home, so if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, you might want to have a look at that. I put Stuttgart as a banker today. 4 consecutive wins for them, 3 consecutive home wins, and they've failed to score in all defeats against the top 5 Köln. So if Köln score today, they're highly unlikely to score that second goal. And with Werder Bremen, 8 out of 26 goals conceded away by Darmstadt have come in the second half. So they might offer some firm resistance today in the first half. Both teams have scored in the last 3 home matches for Werder Bremen. And Darmstadt failed to score in the last 2 away matches. So again, you'll be strongly favouring the home side. So that's the only real major stats from the German Bundesliga today. You'll see them all in the research, which is at this part here, underneath the deep dive. I think there's the research. Here we go. So have that ready. It'll take you through the main. This is the seasonal stats, basically. It doesn't mean it's set in stone. We react to what's happening in play. And the perfect position to be in is when all of this tallies up with what's happening in play. That way you've got a very readable match. Doesn't often end that way, does it? It's not that simple. But we've got lots of strong angles. Brighton undefeated at 10 at home. We've got an Everton with no win in 8 matches. 4 draws and a loss in the last 5. 3 losses and a 0-0 in the last 4 away matches. No win against the top 7. They're playing 7th today. 5 0-0s at half time away, so they might get to 0-0 at half time, but they don't tend to see a 0-0 at full time. Both teams have scored in all matches against 12th and lower for Brighton, so that's an interesting stat as well. It's all broken down for you in the spreadsheet, so make use of it. You can see all of the stats there for the Brighton match, Aston Villa, and it's all in chronological order, and these are all the matches with the best sets of stats. So if you are wanting to keep your trading day quiet, focus only on these major matches. But for me, I'm open to anything as long as there's liquidity in the market. For example, this Teplice match, I could show you how to play it. Teplice and Carvina, the first thing we need to make sure is that there's enough liquidity in the market. So there's a Teplice match. I'm using Fairbot, which is an addition to Betfair.com. It's a piece of software which makes trading far more smoother, and it's got all sorts of bells and whistles here as well, such as variable profit Dutching, which I use a lot. Stuff like that. This will help your calculations, variable profit Dutching. I'll show you if there's an occasion to use it. You'll see it today. So this is exactly what you'll see on Betfair.com. You've got the back and the lay columns, etc. So I would be looking to cover that current score of 0-1 to the underdog by laying over 1.5 goals, which is the same as backing 0-1, 1-0 and 0-0. That way, oh, I've got to put my num lock on. Change that to my usual stake. Take off the liability. So this is backer stake. You're looking to win the amount of money you want to use. So you'll be laying over 1.5 goals. Now, I haven't researched this match. A bit risky because it's the Czech league, and the Czech league can be a bit untrustworthy at the best of times. Half goals. So I will win £40 minus commission, £39.20, if the match finishes 0-1 to the underdog. Or you could do both teams to score no, which we might have an opportunity to do today. That's better suited to a late goal. Now I'm looking at Teplice +1, which is exactly the same as laying Karviná. Is Teplice +1. Let's just make this a bit bigger. There. So this is a bit skinny. 1.67, but if you wanted to do it, £39.20. You've got an either or. You either back Teplice +1, which covers the draw. In this market only, Teplice have a goal head start. That's why they're giving it a 1. So in this match, the current scoreline in this market only is 1-1. For Teplice to win, they'll have to score the next goal, because then you'll add a goal. Instead of it being 1-1, it'll be 2-1 in this market only, and you'll make a profit. If you really fancy Teplice today, as odds on favourites, it's either this or the match odds, where you split your stake in two. Now, I'm not going to split £39.20 into two, that's £19.60. I'll just keep it at a standard £20 to make it easier for you. So let's get that one up. It's just a bit sticky because I've got lots of virtual private servers and all that up. So it's frustratingly sticky. So in this case, you want to be backing Teplice. 1.6 pre-match favourites. Still only half an hour gone in the match odds market with half of your stake. So if you use your stake of 40, you divide that by 2, and you want to lay Karviná as well. But in this case, half stake as liability. So you get a full loss on Karviná of £40. Importantly, the draw loss is reduced in case Teplice get a late draw. So you've got 0-1 covered by laying over 1.5 goals. This profit here is the equivalent to this loss here. So if the match remains 0-1, you will lose here, but you will win here, and you'll break even. If it's 1-1, that will start the profit rolling, and if the goal comes before half time, you'll start seeing some green, which you'll see in this box. When it turns green, that's always a good sign. And Heidenheim have started. Welcome to you all, 2:30 p.m. Heidenheim have scored first against Union Berlin. Now, my usual rule of thumb with Union Berlin, if you could just say a hello in the chat, make sure you can see and hear me okay. I'd appreciate that. Anthony and Rit have done it already. But if you can see and hear me, please just give me a thumbs up or a smiley emoji or something in the chat feed, just to make sure that I'm not just talking to myself for the rest of the afternoon. So if one or two of you could do that, that would be excellent. So we've got a possible with Union Berlin. Normally when the market calls Union Berlin at odds on favourites, they tend to oblige. Now Heidenheim have been in excellent form. You can look at all of this in the research. Let's have a look. Control and F. Heidenheim. So that's why I didn't do too much research. 8 matches unbeaten for Heidenheim until they met Leverkusen, who only beat them 2-1. So Heidenheim are in the form of their life, which makes this a bit of a tricky encounter. Do you trust Union Berlin? Union Berlin's wins, though, have only tended to be 1-0 when the market has spoken for them. Hi William, hi Trevor, hi Jamie, thank you very much. I'm glad you can all see and hear me. That's brilliant. So Union Berlin Heidenheim, it's a tricky one. 8 match unbeaten run, beaten by the overwhelming Bundesliga league leaders. Leverkusen, under the new Liverpool manager, probably. Our old pal Xavi Alonso. But if you trusted the market's position here, and it's difficult because this lot are pretty good. As you can see, Teplice are starting to motor. This is what's called the attacking pressure index. This is a paid for in-play stats feed. And if you are to take up football trading, you will need an in-play stats feed. You can get them for free, or you can get them paid for. The paid for ones, of course, have all the gubbins to go with them. Expected goals ratio, shots on, shots off, corners. Those are the only 3 stats you really need, to be honest. So you can see the start motoring. 2 shots on, 2 shots off, 2 corners, 62 expected goals ratio. Add that to the fact that they're 1.65 pre-match. And although I haven't done any research, we should be fairly confident, I think, of a Teplice equaliser. Union Berlin and Heidenheim, it's very, very tricky. Could open the door to both teams to score? No, which will give me a good opportunity to show you that. So I'll just save this match in my market list here. And we go check out Union Berlin. So we check the match out. If you're at betfair.com, you'll be using the search facility, which has the magnifying glass. I spelt it wrong, of course. Nerlin. So let's see if that improves. And there they are, Union Berlin against Heidenheim. Do we trust the market? If we trust the market, we can do this. This will cover a 0-2 for Heidenheim, in case they're up for it today. It's fairly low for both teams to score no, which is a good sign. So this is an option. Instead of laying over 1.5 goals to cover the 0-1, because the underdog has scored first, we will back both teams to score no to win the amount of money we want to stake. Again, £40. And using Fairbot, you can tick the profit box to make the calculation a lot simpler. So this is just an option if you're a bit worried that Heidenheim might return to form. Remember, it's only beaten by Leverkusen recently. So this covers both teams to score no. What does that cover? It covers 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, etc., etc. I want to cover 1-2. So I go to the correct score market. Look for the 1-2. It's going to be about £5 or £6. I'm backing 1-2 and backing 0-2. Werder Bremen have scored first against Darmstadt. That's no surprise at all. Now this gives us carte blanche. Now we've got 0-1 covered. We've got 0-2 covered. We've got 1-2 covered. If the match gets to 1-3, I'm afraid we're blown out the water. We can't hedge forever. So this is an option instead of laying over 1.5 goals. Now I can go straight to the match odds market. We're using £40 stake. So we're going to untick the profit box. Change that to 20. Back Union Berlin at pretty decent odds relative to their odds on status a few minutes ago. Only 9 minutes ago they were odds on favourite. As I say, this is tricky because Heidenheim have had an unbeaten run of 8 prior to meeting Leverkusen. So they are obviously in very, very good nick. So we've got the conundrum, do we trust the market? Because the market has got Union Berlin absolutely spot on in all of their recent matches. The market's got Union Berlin bang on. And Union Berlin have obliged by either winning or drawing, i.e. not losing. So we lay Heidenheim, half stake as liability. So if you're using betfair.com, you're looking at the liability box. Again, that leaves a £40 loss on Heidenheim, which is covered by both teams to score no, which covers the 0-1, which the current scoreline is, 0-2 in case Heidenheim score the next goal, and the 1-2 in case Union Berlin fight back. We're hoping, of course, that Union Berlin will score the next goal. Now, I've done that wrong. I've backed the draw. It's because these odds are so close together, they were moving. Because I've got this set up by back odds instead of the Betfair market, which is rigid. The back odds will change, of course. So we're laying Union Berlin. I need to get back to drinking coffee. I've given up coffee. That looks like I need some coffee. So I've messed this one up a little bit. I'll start again. We're backing Union Berlin. With half stakes because they are the favourite and they're a goal down. So we're backing Union Berlin and we're laying Heidenheim leading. Half stake as liability because we want to leave a £40 loss on Heidenheim. There we go. So if we get a goal from Union Berlin before half time, or if they score the next goal, we are up and running as far as a profit is concerned. That's one of John H's excellent ideas. Hi Stephen, nice to see you. I hope all is well with the microphone today, no echoing or anything, and you can see all of the screens. So that's an interesting match. That Hajduk Split have conceded first in Croatia. They're normally odds on favourite, and I should be listening to these. I'll just change the speakers to Realtic because this Soccer 24 we are alerted whenever there's a goal in an odds on favourite match, i.e. this one here. We should be hearing a sound. Hopefully that hasn't affected you. Thank you very much, Stephen. So we've got Hajduk Split, who I think will be odds on favourite here, going a goal down. Pre-match odds 1.5. So that is a match of interest in Croatia. So my first look will be at the Croatian market. And then we look at the in-play stats to see if Hajduk Split start well. I can't see the Croatian market here. So I'll just see if I can bring that back up. So we're going off to Croatia. Pick matches of all leagues except the selected. Yeah, I've got the Croatian HNL1. Or maybe this is the HNL1 league. This is the top flight here. So we need the top flight for Hajduk Split, who are normally very reliable. And Bochum have scored first against Mönchengladbach as well. Bochum have been in pretty good form of late. If we look at the spreadsheet, Bochum, Dano, 10 out of 15 goals conceded at home have come in the second half of Mönchengladbach. Bochum have scored and conceded in the last 4 matches. Mönchengladbach have failed to score in 3 out of 4 recent matches. So that means I think we need to watch Mönchengladbach's stats today to make sure they're going to turn up, because they've had trouble scoring. If Mönchengladbach have had trouble scoring, can we really trust them to get a goal back when they're slight favourites at home, 2.1 favourite? So I'll pin that one to the top. And it looks like Darmstadt are in decent mood today, aren't they? 4 shots off target and 3 corners. But I couldn't really see Werder Bremen losing this one today. They should get back to unbeaten ways. There's the Hajduk Split odds-on favourites against Varazdin. Normally reliable Hajduk Split. It's 43 minutes. I'm going to take a risk and wait until half time. As ever, sod's law, they'll get an equaliser right on the 45th minute, and I'll start swearing very loudly. As you can see here, 5 shots on target, 2 shots off target, 5 corners, 30 dangerous attacks to 14. Only 2 shots on target for Varazdin, 2 shots off target. Now we can check to see the type of goal. Was it a lucky goal? Because it looks to be against the run of play. Was it an own goal? Was it a penalty? No, it's Belkar from open play. Have a quick look at the head-to-heads. Dinamo Zagreb just beaten Varazdin, and Hajduk Split beat Dinamo Zagreb recently as well. Normally Hajduk have a good time of it against Varazdin. Both teams have scored in the last 2 head-to-heads without Hajduk losing. So that's a positive for us today. I'm going to wait until half time. That'll give us 15 minutes to check the markets, and then we can see how things are. So that's going at the top of my watch list here. It looks like a good play for the second half. You've seen Hajduk in decent form coming into this match. 4-0 win and a 0-2 win. So the fact that they've been keeping clean sheets suggests that they'll keep Varazdin from scoring that second goal. The only time they've scored 2 goals recently, Varazdin, has been in a European friendly, which we can completely ignore. Teplice, it's always risky going to the Czech Republic, but they did light up the attacking pressure index, but it looks as if the stats have got a little more equal now. So we are flirting with disaster going down to these lower tier leagues. The elite leagues are the Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, Spanish Primera Liga, English Premier League of course, French Ligue 1 to some extent, but those are the main leagues. They're the trustworthy leagues. They're the leagues with loads of money and with reliable players. Well, usually reliable players. So I'll just make sure that everything's okay with the live stream. Do please contact me via the messenger here at footballtradingprofits.club if I disappear or if the sound disappears. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Let's just have a look at Serie B while the Bundesliga gets interesting. But this is the same as the Holstein Kiel match yesterday. We had the top 2 in the Bundesliga as well yesterday. We've got an odds-on favourite, Cremonese, 2nd in the league, playing 3rd in the league, Palermo, and we've also got a red card. So that might be of interest because the onus will be on 3rd place Palermo to take points off 2nd place Cremonese and look to book, at least for the time being, an automatic promotion place, 1st or 2nd in Italian Serie B. What we can do in this match, Cremonese match, and that's the Heidenheim match. We'll keep an eye on the Union Berlin stats because I'm a bit worried about that one. So where will we going? Cremonese. It's coming to the end of the match, but at this stage of the season, when points mean prizes, you can do what I call drip laying. I start at 1.25. I'm looking to win £5. So if you're using betfair.com, it's £5 as backer's stake. It's not liability. I set my confirm box. This again is an advantage of using specialist software because I can fly through these. So my first lay of the draw will be at 1.25. The only reason I'm laying the draw, it's a top 3 clash. The home side has been red carded. The away side are lower down in the league, 3rd placed, and they'd be keen to take points off their near rival. This is low liability, but it's a good return if all of this gets matched. So I lay at 1.25. My next lay is going to be at odds of 1.19 to win a £5. Then I'm going to move down to odds of 1.14 to win a £5. Then I'm going to be moving down to odds of 1.09. And here I'm going to win £11 because my liability is still under £1. So I can up the amount of money I want to win. And then 1.06 will be my final lay. Now if all of these get matched and a goal comes in, we'll create about a 10-to-1 bet. So that's going to be in at 1.16, and it's all waiting for us. You can actually leave the match now, as you can see there, all waiting for us down here. So that's excellent. All waiting for us on the right hand side. So that's only if we get a late goal because of the red card and the need for points. If they don't get matched, we'll lose a maximum of about £4, which is perfectly fine. So as you can see, a couple of them have been matched already. So it's a good risk return. They do come in, these, particularly at this stage of the season, particularly with relegation threatened sides who are having a draw coming to the 90th plus minute. Desperate need for points. This Turkish Super League coming to an end. And get rid of that. Have a look at the German Bundesliga, see how it's progressing stats wise. It's been very quiet so far. Stuttgart starting to motor against FC Köln. Now Stuttgart have not had a 0-0 at half time at home. Check the stats here. No 0-0 at half time at home. So you might want to start, if you want to be speculative, to have a look at them in the half-time markets, particularly after the 20-minute mark. And it's 21st minute now. 95 attacking pressure index. Now when you get to 95, 100 plus, the normal expectation is for a goal. And that fits in with the seasonal stats for Stuttgart, where they tend to get a goal before half time, or rather they don't tend to have a 0-0 at half time. So let's have a look at the Stuttgart market, give you some ideas of how you can play this one. There we go, everything's been matched now. So this is your maximum risk, £4.85, maximum reward £41. If we get a goal between now and 1.01, excellent. If we don't, we know our maximum loss before we enter. So it's not a risky play, and it's a really good return as well. It's a just below 10-to-1 return here. So we were heading off to have a look at Stuttgart, who normally tend to see goals before half time. Again, want to limit our risk. Simple way to limit your risk. Use the half-time market. So let's have a look. I use the half-time score market. I like to get my side to aim for 2 goals before half-time. So again, this is the advantage of specialist software. Dutching back. Imagine doing this yourself. You'll need to get... So we've got a suspended market. That's one of our matches. That's probably the half-time market, isn't it? Looks like, or the full-time market in the Cremonese match. Yeah, indeed, that ends 2-2. But you can see my idea with that match. The need for points for third place Palermo against 10-man second place Cremonese could have got them a late winner. But it looks like Cremonese held on. Stuttgart, no 0-0 at half-time at home. I will be backing 1-0. I'll be asking them to stretch, see if they can get me a 2-0. And given they're playing a side who don't tend to win, any unquoted, which is any side scoring 3 goals in the half-time score market. This is what I was referring to earlier, variable profit. What does it mean? It means you can vary your profit. So any unquoted I like to load up because the liability is very low indeed, as you can see. How about that? 73 quid there. Lovely. Now these have come in. We got it in with Arsenal the other week. They got, I think, a 4-0 at half time. We made £129 on that. So it's not to be sniffed at. This is £12.50. Sorry, 12 odds, 13 odds for the 2-0. I tried to keep my liability to about £10 or a high of about 13. This 1-0, I only look for a negligible profit. Just a throwaway profit. I'm really looking for the big money, the 2-0 and the 2-1. You can do it another option as well. You can look for your available stake, spread your profit. So it equalises profit, but you've got a maximum liability. Required profit, if you fancied a required profit, or variable profit ratio, which places the profit the other way than I do. More profit on the nearest scoreline, the scoreline most likely to occur, and then your profit bands decrease as the unlikelier scorelines go down, as you can see. I like the other route. I like to load up on any unquoted. Now these markets can be very illiquid, but we will see if Stuttgart continue their home record of no 0-0 at half time at home. There we go, that's placed for a maximum £10 liability. 95 attacking pressure index, always a good sign. So I hope you're all okay at YouTube. So we're all ready for that. Hajduk split, well, we can have a look at that now, and it looks as if we've got a good opportunity in this match as well. So we're going to go over to Varazdin and Hajduk split. It's half time at the moment, so there's no need to stress. Varazdin against Hajduk split. As ever, I like doing my insurance because you never know. It's paid out quite well this in recent weeks. It gets us a break even. If the underdog wins 1-0, we create a break even. But it's quite high now because it's half time. I'm going to lay over 1.5 goals at odds of 1.27 to win the amount of money I want to use, which is my 40 quid. Now, if Hajduk split +1 is significantly bigger than 1.286, I'm going to stay there because that covers the draw. I would say it's about 1.7, 1.8. Let's see if I'm right. Look at that, 1.7, Mystic Meg. So you could stop off here if you wanted. But if you take 0.27 away from that, your maximum profit is going to be 1.4 decimal. So I'm going to have a go in the match odds market because Hajduk split have, famous last words, been pretty reliable this season. They started off coming off the winter break with an emphatic win against Dinamo Zagreb. So again, we back Hajduk split in the match odds market with half of your stake, which in this case is £20. Once this is matched, we can lay Varazdin. Lay Varazdin. Half stake as liability because you want the £40 loss to appear on Varazdin, and you also want to lower the draw loss to 6 quid, as you can see there. So we've got a £40 loss here. That's covered at the moment by under 1.5 goals profit. If the match ends 1-0, we'll win this. We will lose this. So I'm just going to have a word with Telegrammers. This looks a decent enough play. So let me just get on Telegram on the telephone. And I'll just make sure that this is all okay. We've got that covered. So excuse me for a sec. Good afternoon. Doing a live chat webinar at YouTube at the moment, so come along if you can. You've got the details at footballtradingprofits.com, research and footballtradingprofits.club. Varazdin against Hajduk Split, Varazdin. This is Croatia. Hajduk Split have had an excellent season. I've laid over 1.5 goals to cover that 1-0 scoreline. And if you want to see the bets placed live, come along to the live stream. I've backed Hajduk Split half stake. I've laid Varazdin half stake as liability. It's half time at the moment. Second half will be beginning very soon. So all we need is for Hajduk Split to continue their excellent season coming off the back of the winter break. Teplice is half time. This is a bit more risky because it's the Czech Republic. It's not one of our elite leagues, but I like the stats. 2 shots on, 5 off and 3 corners to nil. 47 dangerous attacks to 24. That's a good gauge for us to use. Union Berlin and Heidenheim, as I say, this is a bit wobbly, this one. Normally the market gets it spot on with Union Berlin, but normally Union Berlin win 1-0. They ain't going to be doing that today. So that's the additional risk that we face. Borussia Mönchengladbach against Bochum. The Bochum goal was not allowed. That would have offered us a potential angle in there. So we've got the 3 o'clocks coming up very soon. The tidal wave of matches from the English Premier League. Pretty much all odds-on favourites today in the Premier League. 1.6 Aston Villa at home, 1.85 Brighton, 1.95 Crystal Palace. That's a weird one. New manager for Palace, old Woy, is in hospital, getting his lisp looked at. Hopefully he's okay. Man United are without Rasmus Højlund today. That's a huge miss. Rasmus Højlund has pretty much dragged them out to the dirt in the last few matches with his goals. Garnacho has also been chipping in with the odd goal, but it's normally the Garnacho and Højlund show. We'll see how impactful the absence of Rasmus Højlund is going to be today. Bournemouth and Man City. Bournemouth do score and concede. So do Man City. But when you can bring on the likes of Kevin De Bruyne at half time, that kind of thing, it's amazing. I thought Arsenal's odds were far too short today. Newcastle are unbeaten in 4 matches. It's all here at the spreadsheet. Down here somewhere. I'm sure the Man City match is covered. And the Arsenal Newcastle. Newcastle unbeaten in 4. Scored and conceded in the last 7. So they could be competitive today. That would be my inkling there. So we're just waiting for the second half to begin for Aston Hajduk Split. Union Berlin, question mark. Will the market get them right today? They only tend to win 1-0 though. That's the big concern there. Mönchengladbach, the only reason I've got that highlighted at the moment was because Bochum did score first. The Swedish Cup has tended to favour the odds-on favourite. And this, I think these teams will be taking these matches seriously because the Allsvenskan is yet to begin and they'd like to get something under their belts. And we've got a goal from Darmstadt against Werder Bremen. They did deserve it on their early in-play stats, but Werder Bremen did have a goal disallowed to make it 0-2. I'm just going to get rid of some of the lower tier Scottish leagues. Alas, they're too illiquid for us to play. So I'm just going to go into the football trading in-play guru. Scottish Championship, I suppose, okay, but Scottish Premiership, certainly. But Scottish League 1, Scottish League 2, I'm afraid, it's too illiquid on Betfair for us to actually have a play in. So I'll get that ready, and we'll just keep an eye on Stuttgart. They're a little bit quiet coming to the half-hour mark. They do tend to see a goal before half-time, and they did light up the attacking pressure index as well. So I'll put them at the top. We've got goals coming in. There's the Werder Bremen Darmstadt, and I can't hear this one, I'm afraid. I don't know which speaker is working, so please allow me to just get on YouTube. And if I can hear this,
2018,
then I'll know I've got the
same
right.
day, 6 years ago, exactly 6 years
So
ago.
let me just. There we go. Thank you. Aston Villa look like they've got the opening goal against Nottingham Forest. That's not a huge surprise. So normally we'll get. You should hear a sound like that. I don't know why the sound isn't occurring. It's very annoying because I do need this sound because I don't want to be on this screen on its own. I need to know when odds on favourites get goals. As you can see here, Rangers have scored first against a Hearts side who are pretty much the best of the rest outside of the Old Firm. Reading and Shrewsbury, one of these two is an odds on favourite, and it's 1.73 Reading who have conceded first, so that goes immediately onto my watch list. Reading and Shrews, that's the English League One, so let me get that on my watch list. Reading and Shrewsbury. So let's have a look. English League One, there it is, Reading and the Shrews. So we've got possibilities there. I don't research these lower tiers. It's just a big workload, and also not wholly reliable leagues, it must be said. So hopefully I'll hear some noises when a goal has been scored. Otherwise I'll have to check whether it's an odds on favourite. I've got Football 24 up on my other device because that, you can hear the dings faintly. That's every single match. This is odds on favourites only. So Cardiff have scored against Stoke, and Qatar are playing Salal. I don't think we'll be getting involved in that one. And it's 0-2 to the Shrews. That could give us a potential angle in. So early. And it's 0-2. 1.73 pre-match for Reading. It is a relegation 6-pointer, and Millwall have scored first against the Saints.
Reading Shrewsbury is 0-2.
That's Dr. Stephen Hawking there, fresh from Epstein Island. He comes back every weekend to do my scores for me. Scores on the doors with Dr. Stephen Hawking. So Saints against Millwall, going through a bit of a wobbly patch, Saints at the moment. Need to get Matt Le Tissier back up and fit. Guernsey's finest. Get him back out there. Let's have a look at the head-to-heads recently. So obviously Saints, I would suggest that odds on favourite today, losing against Hull.
Reading Shrewsbury is 0-2.
There we go. They did beat West Brom, losing to Bristol City as well. That was away from home. That was a bit of a shock result. But they have been okay. Millwall going through a bit of a dodgy patch at the moment. Certainly a watching brief there. We want to have a look at the Saints stats. This is certainly of interest. 0-2. That's much better, isn't it? Lying at 1.4 this early on in the match. That piques my interest. Even if it's 16th against 19th, so it is a relegation 6-pointer, isn't it, really? So it's no surprise to see a competitive match. I'm just going to get the leagues in order. Just makes it easier. And Mönchengladbach have scored first against Bochum. So we're going to Southampton in the English Championship against Millwall. Southampton pre-match. Let's have a look at the pre-match odds. 1.44, so very well fancied today, the Saints. 4 consecutive defeats for Millwall. It's getting towards must-win territory, I would suggest, for the Saints. The best way to look at it.
Goal. Borussia Mönchengladbach Bochum is 1-0.
Okay, we're still not getting the noise from Soccer 24, which I desperately need. I don't want to have to keep flitting to this website to check out the scores as they come in. QPR and Rotherham, because as you can see, it's a busy day. We need to be organised. So it's again QPR and Rotherham in the Championship. Odds on favourites. QPR are a goal down. Middlesbrough Plymouth in the Championship. odds on Middlesbrough goal down. So Middlesbrough QPR. Let's just find these matches, pin them to the top. And yep, that's the goal come in for Rotherham. Normally, with this website, I hear a noise. I hear a sound, but I'm not hearing it. And that sound alerts me when an odds-on favourite has scored or conceded. So we've got a lot of underdogs scoring first in the Championship. I'm not going to dive in just yet. I need just to get some confirmation that the likes of Southampton are in decent nick, and indeed QPR can do something, and Middlesbrough normally very defensively sound. Shouldn't really allow Plymouth to get that second goal, but we are at that stage of the season where
This market has been suspended.
these sides in double figure position, league position, will be absolutely desperate. And we got that goal back from Reading. What a pity I didn't lay the Shrews. Should have got on straight away. I'm sorry about that. Didn't get to it in time. Look at this odds now of 1.44.
Shrewsbury is 1 to 2.
They're going to rise markedly. I should have got on. My apologies. I hope you spotted this one and got on yourself. We should have laid Shrewsbury 0-2 up. This is the problem with these live streams. I get distracted. And it's all down to this. I'm not hearing this. So it's a big distraction for me, because normally this would be fine. I would be hearing this all day long, and I don't have to monitor this all the time. So that's what distracted me. Look at the change in the odds now. They're going to be marked from 0-2 to 1-2. So we really should have played that one. QPR and Rotherham, Middlesbrough and Saints. Do you trust the Saints today? They're normally very good at home. Let's have a look at our other matches, because the second halves are beginning. I'm expecting Hajduk Split to do something today. 5 shots on, 4 off, 7 corners to 0. It would surprise me. And a red card for Varazdin. Music to our ears, because that's going to impact the market immediately, as you see here. That's an excellent sign. So we've got the first hurdle. We've got the red card. Luckily it's for Varazdin, not for Hajduk Split. That should open the door up now for the potential for us to take the whole 68 quid out of the market. So that's excellent.
This market has been suspended.
So we've got, when you hear that suspended sound, that means one of our markets of interest, something is happening. Hopefully it's positive for us. So that red card, it normally impacts markedly, as you can see here. Now there's only just a half remaining for Hajduk to take advantage of this, which they normally should. 11 v 11 they should do already. I think we're going to go to the Southampton match. I hope the Saints are in decent nick today. As ever, we're going to lay the Lions, lay over 1.5 goals, just in case Millwall, who desperately need points, remember. Laying it to win the amount I want to play with. So I'm going to lay over 1.5 goals. It's going to cost twopence halfpenny, because the odds are so short. £2 to cover.
This market has been suspended.
And then we're going to have a look at Southampton +1. If it's reasonable, I would stay there. 1 point, no, far too short. That's a positive. That's telling you the market really expects. So we have to default really to the match odds market here. And Union Berlin have equalised. Excellent stuff. We can check that one out. The goal has come before half time. Brilliant. As I keep saying, the market gets it right with this Union Berlin, but the problem is they only tend to win 1-0. So we're going to be backing Saints. They were evens a second ago, so we're not getting much out of this match. The only other way you can play is to go into the half-time market to get any value. We're going to lay Millwall at 4.1. It's I would have liked evens, but it's gone down to 1.94.
Union Berlin Heidenheim is 1 to 1.
Okay, I hope that's not too loud for you. It's Dr. Stephen doing a fine job. You could of course go to the half-time market here, particularly if Southampton stats start mounting up. in the half-time market, you're giving yourself a natural time limit. And because you're giving yourself a natural time limit, you're getting better odds. By which I mean bigger odds for the backer, lower odds for the layer. You could even go, there we go. Is this a Southampton goal?
Borussia Mönchengladbach is 2-0.
Is this a Southampton goal, or is it a Millwall 0-2? It looks like it's a Saints goal. No. Yes. Or is it a card? I don't know. Because the odds haven't really moved significantly enough for a goal to have occurred. So there's a Union Berlin. As you can see, I need to see these. That's the problem. I'm going to have to visit them. There's Martin Kemp from Spandau Ballet scoring first for MK Dons. 1.67 favourite, so we don't need to follow that one up at the moment. We've got an equaliser for Teplice against Carvina. So let's check our positions in the Union Berlin match and in the Teplice match. Let's hope Saints get something out of this. So we're heading off to Union Berlin. Just spell it correctly would help. Ion Berlinen. Let's try. There we go. Union Berlin against Heidenheim.
Goal. MK Teplice MK Carvina is 1-1.
That's really good news for us. Now you can get out with a green screen if you fancied it. Of course, you'll have to take off. I think this will be half time. If it's 2-1, that would be fantastic. And it is 2-1. Wonderful. I was a bit concerned because Union Berlin wins have only tended to be 1-0. Now you can take pretty much a large proportion of that 65 quid. You could, of course, wait half time as well because nothing's going to be happening at half time. Okay?
Goal. Union Berlin Heidenheim is 2-2.
That's a brilliant result. Fantastic stuff. As you can see there, £45 green screen. Merry Christmas. So I can leave this one because it's going to be half time. Hopefully, Union Berlin's odds will drop even more during the half time break. And you can come out of this with 46 quid minus your lost insurance premium. All of this for really small stakes of 40 quid. Not bad at all. And it's all done and dusted by half time. Remember, as soon as you cash out, anything that happens afterwards, who cares? Union Berlin can go on and lose. You've guaranteed your return. Let's have a look at Teplice. So that's looking rather rosy. What a brilliant second goal. I was getting a little concerned because if you looked at the research, you've seen all of their wins have been 1-0 Union Berlin in recent times. Teplice was a bit of a concern as well, but we're starting to get some green here. Now you've got two options. You could stay in, take a hit on the draw in the hope that Teplice get the win. If you're happy with that, £6 loss for the potential of a £59 profit. It's not going to be a £6 loss though. You're going to lose your insurance premium as well by laying over 1.5 goals because it's no longer under 1.5 goals, is it? Because 2 goals have been scored. You could take your green, run to the hills, add it to your 46 quid for Union Berlin. That's a really nice start to the afternoon. I wouldn't dismiss this. I like to look at it as 15% of 100. So if you're aiming for 100 quid, that's 15%. You've got your 46 quid from Union Berlin. That's 46, 56, 61 quid already. Mansfield have scored against Salford. I suspect Mansfield will be favourite here. There's that Union Berlin, fantastic stuff. Who's going on my Christmas card list? Let's have a look. Mr. Schaefer. I'm certainly sticking him on the old Christmas card list. Brilliant stuff. Half time as well, so there's no need for you to cash out if you don't want to. Okay? With Teplice, you either take the green or you say to yourself, I'm going to take that £6 loss plus that loss of the insurance in the hope that I get 59 quid. Or you could sew this all up now. I don't like seeing liability. Variable profit Dutching yet again comes to the rescue. Let's get rid of that. £4.50. Get rid of this 40 quid. This is going to cost more. Carvina at odds of 6.4. Take away 1. That's 5.4 to 1. So that should be about 8 quid. We're going to have to spend, or even more, because we want to keep the draw.
This market has been suspended.
Now, I quite like the look of that. You've got yourself pretty much a free punt at Teplice, 35 quid. Not as exciting as £59. So this is what I call options at exit. There is no one correct way to cash out. It's all down to you, how you feel. Are you willing to take the risk of 7 quid loss for the hope of 59 quid? We're of course making the gross assumption that Carvina won't win. 2, you want to take your green screen. And then, as I've said prior, as soon as you take a green screen, you are guaranteed that money, regardless of what happens after that. 3, you could create this a risk-free play. This way you can leave the match alone now. And the great thing about this, you can still cash out at any time, take the profit at any time. Now, worst case scenario will be break even, albeit you'll lose a bit by laying over 1.5 goals. Best case scenario, Teplice go on and win. It's called a risk-free play. Merry Christmas. Sunderland and the Swans. I think Mansfield will be favourite against Salford, but do remember Salford have a new manager. I think Sunderland's odds must have been odds on earlier on. Real drift from them today. 1.83 out to 2.15 with Bet365. But they're still going to go on my watch list. So I will look on that with interest. Sunderland in the English Championship. And we have a look at the other English Championship sides. As you can see, they haven't started going yet. And I'm really gutted I missed out on this one. So we're going to the English Championship just to see what kind of a mood Sunderland are in. And if their in-play stats start boiling over nicely, like QPR's are doing, that could start interesting me. Now this is a relegation 6-pointer as well. So arguably this is a derby-style match, isn't it? Both sides in desperate need of points. Marty Corveo and Liam Rich both desperately need the win. So arguably Rotherham could be eyeing the win, of course, eyeing that 0-1. But look at the response from QPR, who, remember, were 1.61 pre-match favourite. 2 shots on, 2 shots off, 3 corner. Do you trust QPR today? That is the question. Yes, via the in-play stats. No, via the league position. 22nd against 24th. So I'm quite happy to give that a little bit of breathing space. Hopefully we'll get some action there. I'm getting a bit worried with Hajduk Split. They're not taking advantage of the red card just yet with the hour marker gone. Soccer 24, triple bar on the top right, then settings, then notifications with the sound. Thank you very much, Gordon. Yes, I've done all of that. It's normally here, Gordon, for the My Games. I think it's just down to my computer, Gordon, but thank you very much for your input. Yes, oh sorry, yes with sound effects. So you might be right, Gordon. Thank you very much. Do appreciate your input there. Fabulous. Sunderland new manager, says Stephen, as well. So that's something for us to pay attention to. Is the new manager going to bring out any change in the Black Cats or not? So that's important for us to figure out. I don't know what this thing is doing in the way of QPR. Are you going to take a risk with QPR and Rotherham? The attacking pressure index says yes. The league position says, I'm a bit concerned. But they are playing a Rotherham who don't tend to win. So let's have a look here. They gave Ipswich a hell of a game last week, 4-3. I think we traded a few of those, didn't we? Again, I'm still not hearing the sound here. So this is simply an issue with my computer. So nothing to worry about. It's because I'm using the Yeti. I'm not sure which of these. I did check this with YouTube and it was this Realtek audio. But not to worry. Kilty and Falkirk immaterial, it's League One. We can't really play. And we got an equaliser for Hajduk Split. It was about effing time. Making us worried a little bit. Now it's going to be more impactful with the red card. So let's have a look at this. With that red card in play. There we go. That's not too shabby. Now add that onto your 46 quid from Union Berlin. This is just an illiquid market, so don't worry about that. Now, are you going to take the risk here? It would be wise to, wouldn't it? Because they're playing 10 men. Or are you going to take that 31 quid, remembering it's 31% of a £100 target for your session, which would be a very nice tax-free income for 2.5 hours work. Not too shabby. So you could, again, options at exit. Take into account the red card. Take into account Hajduk Split's excellent form. Take into account the amount of time left for Hajduk. 66 minutes. Now logically, you'd expect, and it's 2-1 to Teplice, fantastic stuff. I didn't need to cash out. I didn't need really to create that risk-free play. If you're happy to take the loss on the draw in the hope of the bigger gain, with Teplice you could have got yourself 58 quid there. But now I would recommend you cash out, take the gift horse, come from behind, job done. Now this match was all down to the pre-match stats, pre-match odds. That's the only reason I got involved. And I suppose the fact they're at home. Just wait for this to tighten up a little bit. Okay, that's better. And I would recommend you take the green, because you don't want to be left with a late equaliser and a 51p profit. Again, remembering it's a percentage of 100, that's not too bad, is it? 27. Add that to your 46. Add that to your profit you've just made on that other match with that equaliser for that Teplice lead. It's all adding up rather nicely, isn't it? There we go. Green, green, green. Teplice win, I win 29 quid. A draw, I win 29 quid. Carvina win, I win 32 quid.
Goal. FK Teplice MFK Carvina is 2-1.
It's Dr. Stephen Hawking just reminding us there of the scorelines. So I think I'm going to get rid of the Scottish football, because I don't need to be alerted to any of these, because I can't trade them. And it's 0-2 to the Swans, so this new Sunderland manager had better get his act together. I can get rid of the Teplice match now as well, because I've greened up. I don't care about what happens now, and neither should you. This is the beauty of guaranteeing yourself a return. You don't need to be alerted anymore. Sunderland and Swans, there's going to have to be a watching brief. Did the market get it right? 1.83 drifted out to 2.15. Still nothing from the Saints. QPR in-play stats are good, but the league position is poor. Middlesbrough, very quiet indeed as well. Come on, Hajduk. No excuses. 20 minutes to go against 10 men. If you don't get the win here, I will be bitterly disappointed. This is the beauty of doing the cashing out, particularly in the red-carded match. You're going to get a decent return, and then you don't have to sweat it about whether they're going to get the winner. And it's a decent enough return, but if you fancy 68 quid, then by all means. You can certainly get rid of that 39 quid for Varazdin without worrying too much, but it's the draw which is going to eat into most of your profit. So what we can do here, variable profit Dutching again. We want to get rid, without it costing too much for Hajduk. It's only cost 3 quid so far. There we go. Unlikely Varazdin are going to win, but you never know. This is football after all, isn't it? So for the sake of £11.40, we can guarantee ourselves the possibility of a Hajduk split, 57 quid profit. Or you could take that 31 quid. If you're new to trading, take the 31 quid, because it just increases your confidence. I'm quite happy with that position there. I could still take the 31 quid now if I wanted to. That's the great thing about doing this. Aston Villa have made it 2-0. Now, Nottingham Forest tend to score and concede. So we will see. The Villains look to be back up in form at home. They've had a bit of a poor run of late. MK Dons, Arabro are in the Cup, and we know that Sunderland, I think, are odds-on favourite today. But the Swans, Old Ronald. Now the thing with the Sunderland side is, what's the story with that drift at Bet365? Why did we get that drift? And Middlesbrough against Plymouth, I'm glad I didn't play that one just yet. Not seeing anything from Borough, and it's now 0-2 to Plymouth. So I don't know where they got the 1.44 favouritism from for Middlesbrough today. 13th in the league as well, playing against relegation threatened Plymouth, relegation threatened Rotherham, leading. Relegation threatened Swansea, leading. You're going to see this. Relegation threatened Shrews, leading. Relegation threatened Millwall, leading. No coincidence. This is what you're going to see. And look at Exeter taking the lead against Fleetwood. Exeter have put together a wonderful run of results of late, which has shot them up the table. They were in relegation trouble. 3 points at this stage of the season. We're coming up to March. We're just a few days away from March, and then that'll be the last full month of the season. Then we're going to get to handkerchief moments for the fans in April. So 3 points now. It's going to be hugely important. We can get rid of Teplice. Job done. Stuttgart didn't get the goal before half-time, but I was just following the stats and I was looking at the attacking pressure index. It did hit 100. Normally when it hits 100, you do tend to see a goal. Now we've got a possibility of laying the draw second half here. FC Köln, as I've alluded to, they do keep it tight first half, but they've only had 3 wins all season, so you'll be expectant of third in the league Stuttgart to try to cement a Champions League place, with Bayern Munich cocking things up this season with the signing of Harry Kane and Eric Dyer.
Middlesbrough Plymouth is 0-2.
Oh, Middlesbrough Plymouth 0-2, yes. Southampton are looking good. 66 attacking pressure index, 1 shot on, 5 off, 5 corners, 28 dangerous attacks. All down to Matt Letitia, no doubt. So that's looking good for the Saints. Did we play? I think we did, didn't we? I'll just check my Southampton positions. Ipswich have scored first against Birmingham. That's no great surprise. Birmingham in all sorts of bother. Southampton against Millwall. I think I've got involved already. Should have got involved in the match odds. Yes, because the Southampton odds were so short. And indeed, they've only really gone up 0.1 points. So their odds are moving up very, very slowly, which is good for us. The market's looking confident that the Saints can get an equaliser here. The absolute ideal for us is to get this equaliser before half time, so we can get up and running with our green screens. Reading looked like they're going to get an equaliser, but the angle in there was the 0-2 to the Shrews, wasn't it? That way you're getting odds on 1.4 lay of Shrewsbury, and you're getting about 6-1 back of Reading so early in the match. It's not even a half-hour mark, look. So that's one I missed out on, which is a real pity. I hope one or two of you picked that one up yourself. let's just see if I can pop out this chat and keep it. I'm not sure if I can. No, I don't know how to pin it, so I'll get rid of that. But please do pass on any details you want, and I'll see if I can pick them up. So Hajduk Split, we're waiting for the win. Or did you cash out the 30 quid? As you can see, if you cashed out with the 30 quid, you won't be sweating it now, saying, oh, I wish I cashed out. Now look at them, they're not even turning up against 10 men. And what's going on? But if you did cash out, who cares? We can get rid of Union Berlin now. My pattern, which I told you. So I got itchy nose. My pattern for Union Berlin, when the market speaks, tends to get them spot on. That's about it. Look at this now, 2-1. First time they've scored 2 goals to get a win in a very long time. Burnley have been red carded against new manager Crystal Palace. I haven't checked the Premier League stats out yet because we've got a lot of odds-on favourites in the Premier League today. Let's go through our English leagues. We've been fixated on our matches at the top. Get rid of Chile. So let's move down. Copenhagen and Næstved. This could be interesting a bit later on. One-way traffic for Næstved. So I'll pin that one at the top. And Saints have equalised before half-time. Lovely job. So that's going to impact on the market very nicely indeed. Just wait for the market to warm up. There's more of a loss on the draw, isn't there? You'll see. Which is a mild concern. Now, this is why I like +1 instead. When you go +1, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Because the draw is covered when you go +1. And when I mean +1, Southampton +1. Current scoreline 1-1. Southampton +1 makes it 2-1 to Southampton in the +1 market only. We've got that win for Hajduk Split. This is what I'm talking about. Be flexible. Be flexible in your options at exit.
This market has been suspended.
Be flexible. Take into account time left, seasonal form, the fact they're playing 10 men, the fact they're in pretty decent nick. Good stuff. Now you've got your 57 quid in the bag. Just wait for the market to unsuspend and you can hopefully cash out. You can guarantee yourself that you're not going to be coming out of this with a 50p loss if Varazdin get a very, very late penalty in the 94th minute.
Southampton Millwall is 1-1.
That's an excellent result. Southampton Millwall 1-1. We're not going to see a huge green there just yet. As I say, if you went match odds, if you went half-time market, the 1-1, 2-1 Saints, any other home score, that's always an option, don't forget. Going half-time market, particularly for such a short price favourite. St Mirren have scored first against St Johnstone. I think St Mirren are favourite. There they are, indeed. I think St Mirren are favourite. So we don't have an interest there. Indeed they are. Own goal, as Stephen Francis would point out. Own goal, very important for us to take note of. I'm a bit gutted now because it's Reading 2, Shrewsbury 2. Had we got involved at the 0-2, you'd have been sitting on 6-1 profit, compounded by the lay of Shrewsbury at about 1.4. Wow. Disappointed I didn't get on that. I normally jump on these straight away. It's such an early lead. 5th minute lead. I really should have got stuck in. It's very rare you're going to be able to lay Shrewsbury at 1.4 with only 5 minutes gone in the match. I mean, it's just spectacular. And back in the Shrews, backing Reading at 7s when they were 1.73 pre-match with only 5 minutes gone. I mean, must have had a bang on the head not getting involved in that. Barcelona have taken the lead against Getafe. That's likely to be done and done there. Getafe, best case for them seems to be score draws. As you can tell with the spreadsheet, 2 consecutive away 1-1 draws for Getafe. 21 of 28 goals scored at home have come second half for Barcelona. So this might not be over. 21 minutes in and Barcelona are leading. Both teams have scored in the last 4 away for Getafe. So that might be something, particularly if it's 1-0, 70th minute. Don't forget the both teams to score angle for Getafe away at Barca. But it could be more woes for Getafe with Barcelona's strong second half scoring record. Let me just get, my phone's gone off again. I need the Football 24 to continue. So excuse me for a sec. I just get a kind of a 30-minute turning off thing. 3-0 to Villains today. Really back up and at 'em, aren't they? Might be layable. Forest do score and concede. And it'll be a later nothing. Don't forget that both teams to score angle for Nottingham Forest. Even if they make it 3-1, that might just give them a little bit of hope. It's 2-0 for Rangers, so the market's got them right against a Hearts side who have really been a solid trading side this season. There we go, I've just got the phone back up and running. So let's get back to the action. Check the in-play stats in the lower leagues. So we start with the English Championship, work our way through and just check our odds-ons. Yeah, no surprise. Red Star Belgrade, Barca, that's the one which got away from me. Hapoel Haifa should be favourite against Sakhanin in the Israeli Liga Ha'al. Indeed they are, just worth a little bit of a note. Hapoel Haifa, Israeli Liga Ha'al, there we go. Just in case Hapoel Haifa start lighting up the in-play stats. So let's have a look at the English Championship. Oh, did I cash out to Plitche and Corvino? I think I did. This is what I'm telling you about. Get the bleep out of Dodge. And is this a draw now? Look. Is this a draw now? Hajduk. I should have... Oh no, it's been a goal disallowed. It must have been a disallowed goal. And it remains 1-1. But Teplice is now 2-2. Now you see the importance or the significance of greening up. Who cares? It's 2-2. And what happens? Oh, I'm going to win 29 quid. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, Hajduk split goal has been disallowed, which is a real pity. Because we are now at the 84th minute mark. So you've had the advantage of greening up here because this is now 2-2. And now you've had the heartache of not taking what was a pretty decent 31 quid on Hajduk split. That's the wrong one. Now you've got to be hopeful that Hajduk can score a late winner. So a lesson. Green up is far better on the old heart than waiting for that win. Because look at me, having done all this work, I'm coming out of this with a loss. Or I could take the green now and say to myself, you know what? They haven't really done it second half. I was expecting an earlier equaliser and an earlier second goal. I want to get out of this, so I might as well take my green, run to the hills. But it's up to you. If you still want to hope for that 57 quid profit, you've got 6 minutes plus extra time. But don't forget, as a percentage of 100, that's how you think of this. And it all adds up to a pretty decent return if you're having a good trading day. We can get rid of Union Berlin. Job done before half-time. Fantastic stuff from them. Excellent. Mönchengladbach pretty much going the way of the market. So no surprises. Got the Southampton equaliser. Now do you cash out? Or do you hope that the market's got them spot on? Or did you go half-time market? Because that would have been excellent. Doesn't look like I'll be back in the Black Cats yet. It looks like one-way traffic from the Swans today. And again, desperate need for points. Desperate need for points. Look at Plymouth, for goodness sake. Looking for that third goal. Desperate need for points. You can see it all here. And they've got the Stuttgart goal. I should have laid that draw second half. Sorry about that. Should have laid that draw second half, Stuttgart and Köln. I hope you spotted that yourself. Should have laid that draw. Odds on favourite pre-match. Banker bet as well. You could have got about 3.25 for the draw. 4 consecutive wins. With Köln failing to score in all defeats against the top 5. Who do you think is going to score first? Stuttgart. So should have got on that one for a nice gain, if any of you did. Hajduk goal chopped off, indeed, JD. That's a real gutter. And it's a good good example to you, isn't it, of greening up. Take that 31 quid. Who cares? Like you've done with Teplice. Who cares? If it ends 2-2, you have locked in your profit. You've guaranteed yourself a return. That's what I've just done with Hajduk, albeit a far lower return than I wanted. I don't want to come out of that with a 50p loss after all that hard work. But it's up to you, as I say. That's why I call them options at exit. Be flexible. If you know the team better than I do and you trust them more, stay in. So let's have a quick look at the in-play stats. Anything catch the eye? Sheffield Wednesday, desperate need for wins. Playing 12th in the league, Bristol City. And should have cashed out the Saints now because it's 1-2 Millwall. 1-2 Millwall. So you're getting a good lesson in the cashing out, importance of cashing out and creating a green screen, because what happens after the green screen doesn't matter anymore. Now you're going to have to sweat it second half to get a Southampton second goal and then a Southampton third goal to get you back on parity. We could have taken the gift of that goal before half time, couldn't we? So let's just have a look through. Anything catch the eye? Not really. In the lower tiers, Pompey, top of the league, but they've had an awful run against 20th and lower, or against bottom 3, bottom 4, bottom 5 away from home. You saw them against Cheltenham, they failed to score. They lost, but their single goal was an own goal. So they have an uncharacteristically poor set of stats against the bottom 3 or 4 sides, so watch out. But they're looking okay at the moment. Charlton definitely need the win. Pompey need the points as well, so they get an automatic promotion. And their old pals, Forest Green, have scored first. They're normally very, very layable indeed. So let's head off and have a look at Forest Green. We haven't looked at the Premier League yet either. With Rasmus gone, there's nothing showing for Man United just yet. 2.5 the favourite here. Normally Forest Green are as gettable as ever. We backed Newport County the other week at 23-1 when the Forest Green were leading. I think it was 2-0 or 3-0. And Forest Green, Newport County went on and won. So we've got a Forest Green opener. So that's going on my watch list. It hasn't been confirmed yet by Football 24, by In-Play Guru, but it has by Football 24. Elsewhere, let's have a look. Well, Man U and Fulham. This is the problem. Over-reliance on Rasmus Højlund. What happens when Rasmus Højlund gets injured? Where's the goals going to come from? Brighton are looking excellent against Everton. 3 shots on, 7 off and 8 corners. No surprise here at all. Because if you look at this, 5-0 at half-time away for Everton, but only 1 at full-time away for Everton. Both teams have scored in all home matches against 12th and lower for Brighton. 4 draws and a loss in the last 5 for Everton. They failed to score in the last 3 away. 13 out of 18 goals scored at home have come second half. Sorry, that's Man United. But that's normally a Rasmus Man United. So certainly Brighton and Everton, that draw could be layable second half, I would suspect. 5-0 at half-time away for Everton. Only 1 at full time. Really solid in-play stats for Brighton as well. Add the two together and it looks as if they could get the breakthrough second half. But this is typical Everton. This is the kind of stuff you saw from Everton when they had their 10-point deduction. This is what they were doing. 0-0s at half-time, trying to nick a late winner, and off we go. And he was doing it successfully, Sean Dyche. And that modus operandi, very, very successful for a long run, but it's since got a bit wobbly because it doesn't work when you concede goals as they have done in the last 4 Premier League matches. Sorry, they got a 0-0 against Fulham. But Brighton, coming off the back of 5 goals against the Blades, should be very happy indeed. Did score against Tottenham. Do tend to have a very strong both teams to score record against 12th and lower as well. So we'd be hoping for Everton to score first for that trading angle. Now, our old pals Forest Green are normally gettable, but we're heading to half-time, so we've got a bit of a lull. We should be okay there. And then we can turn our attention to the German Bundesliga because their second halves will be well underway. The rest of the Premier League, well, we've got a new manager for Palace, of course. But we've got that red card for Burnley. This is a match full of all sorts of woes. I don't know what to do here. Normally when I get a new manager, you can't research the match because all of the prior form under the new manager is totally redundant. Gone. He's gone. His tactics are all disappeared now. You've got a new manager's tactics, new manager's thought processes, etc. You can't do any research and you can't rely on seasonal form for Palace now. They might suddenly improve, as they did when Roy first came in. He went on a significant unbeaten run when he first joined Crystal Palace. Got a 3-3 Liberec and Jablonek, if you wanted to lay that. And the Shrews have taken the lead again against Reading. Wow, what a match. Aston Villa might be layable if you trust Nottingham Forest's 2-goal tally, or at least the both teams to score. But this looks like Aston Villa are returning to the kind of form that we've expected of them at home.
This market has been suspended.
Ah, it's come already. Ah, gutted. That 3-0. Well, it's only gone up from 1.01 to 1.04, but it's before, I think that's half time. Now imagine you're coming into the half time at 3-1, you're only 2 goals down. Team talk changes significantly. Get the next goal, 3-2. That 101 would have been rather nice. I've missed the boat there like I did with Reading. Union Berlin Heidenheim. Another gentle reminder to you of the importance of greening up. Now you might want to lay the draw late on here. Hajduk split, by the way. But let me just show you Union Berlin, because this match is now, guess what? 2-2. So I really hope you took the early Christmas present of the 2-1 at half time, because that really significantly impacts the market. Hopefully I greened up. Looks like the Heidenheim goal has been disallowed, but it doesn't matter. As soon as you've taken a green screen, you're safe as houses. Oh, I didn't take a green screen. Now I am going to take a green screen, or at least, yes, I think I will. 49 quid. Yes, please. Got to. Just had a goal disallowed for Heidenheim. Take the hint, please. Take the hint. You do not want a late Heidenheim equaliser. 49 quid minus your liability for the insurance and laying over 1.5 goals is still a very decent return. Take the green, please. Whenever you see that disallowed goal come in, be very wary. Well, Köln have got a goal now against Stuttgart. That could be another chance for us to lay the late draw. Köln don't tend to win. But we are at that stage of the season, aren't we? And this is why I need this. So I'm going to try to figure this out for tomorrow. Because I've got the sound up here. And we should be hearing the goals as they come in. Have a look at the Köln goal. Was it a penalty? No, Martel and Milot. Should have laid the draw though. If you laid the draw, that 53 would have guaranteed you a profit. That Stuttgart scoring first. Just about to sneeze. Oh, that's better. Told you got an itchy nose. I have to have a shave, I think. Itchy nostrils. Right. Saint-Etienne and Nancy's finished. Saint-Etienne, really poor season, French League 2. Used to be in the top flight. Hajduk split. If you wanted to lay the late draw and sacrifice some of your green if you took it, by all means do. HAJDUK split. I put an extra E there. No, it hasn't picked that up. Okay. Duxby. Duxsplite. Okay, I've got to try that again. So my internet is a bit sticky because I've got using a virtual private server. And it hasn't picked it up. So this is taking me a bit longer than usual. So sorry about this. Hopefully you're still here and the internet hasn't gone down. March Meadow asks if the Werder Bremen match is worth to lay the draw. Well, they did lose their last match, and prior to that they were on an excellent run, and they are priced, Werder Bremen today, to win, and Darmstadt don't tend to get the win. So you might be right there, but the Zimmerman own goal is not what you really want to see, is it, for what was an odds-on favourite pre-match. But this, for me, 1.7 only, so not emphatically strong. Really, for Werder Bremen, they should be eyeing the win today against Darmstadt with only 2 or 3 wins all season. But we are at that stage, as you've just seen with all those championship sides, tended to score the first goal when in relegation places. Teplice got the late winner. Well, I didn't lay that late Desmond Tutu, and it doesn't matter. I've guaranteed myself a profit, haven't I? So up to you with Werder Bremen. What I would say is make sure you have a look at the in-play stats for the Werder Bremen match. They did have a goal disallowed earlier on, which is a positive. So we need to have a look at the in-play stats. Werder Bremen and Darmstadt. It's a very tight match, isn't it? They're not exactly really driving in their odds-on status, are they, at the moment? 3 shots on target, 4 shots off target. All 3 shots on target have come second half. 4 shots off target, only 1 of them has come second half. 3 corners, 2 of them have come second half. So second half is belonging, in a sense, to Werder Bremen. Darmstadt, 8 shots off target is a positive. But the vast majority of those, 7 of those, came first half. So do make sure, if you look at your in-play stats, you know your timings. We know this lot. Look, trying to get the late winner. I should have got out with my 30 plus quid profit, because this is what happens. You don't make assumptions in football. Everything you're expecting is a Hajduk split win. They're in excellent form. 2 consecutive wins. Playing 10 men. No reason for them not to get the win. That's why a green screen is so effective, isn't it? It doesn't matter what happens afterwards. And that ends 1-1. So that's some really good examples to you. Teplice ending 2-2. That goal has been disallowed. Hajduk split 1-1. Werder Bremen, I'll keep an eye on. If we get an improvement in the attacking pressure index and we start to see more shots on, shots off and corners, then I would lay that draw. You could delay and hope that you get lower odds for the draw. They should be eyeing the win though today, Werder Bremen. Darmstadt don't win. Simple as that. 2 or 3 wins, I think, all season. We can get rid of KUPS. Get rid of Hajduk. Cocked it up, but we still made a profit. Stuttgart and Köln, possibility to lay this draw. This is very unexpected from Köln, but again, you'll see it at this stage of the season.
This market has been
Competitive, look, Millwall 1-2 lead. The Shrews were 0-2 up. And they're now 2-3 up. Desperate need for points. 0-2 for Swansea. And I hope you took my advice with Union Berlin. When you see a goal being disallowed, it is a shot across the bow, suggesting all might not be well. And indeed, we're on the draw now, it's 2-2. But who cares? I make 49 quid if it's 2-2. I make 49 quid if Union Berlin win. I make 49 quid if Heidenheim win. That's the importance of greening up. So that's your main lesson to come out of this session today. Greening up. Today especially has been the best angle to use. So we're looking, that would have come in as well for Southampton, couldn't it? And again, another great example. I think more so at this stage of the season, with a desperate need for points for everybody. Apart from those stuck in mid-table mediocrity, who are not going to be relegated and are not going to be in the playoffs. Brighton and Everton is a match to look second half to lay that draw. Brighton should be eyeing the win here today. Everton 5-0 at half time away, only one at full time. So this is another possible one for Telegram. So let me just get the Telegram up. Forest Green, I think, are going to be layable. They tend to be gettable. We've had more profits than loss, in any case, playing a Forest Green lead.
Goal. MPU20 FC Honka U20 is 1-2.
Oh, that's under 20 league. I don't need that. Okay. Brighton against Everton. 3 shots on, 7 off and 8 corners for Brighton. Everton 5-0 at half time away, only 1 at full time. So I would look to lay that draw second half. Hope that Brighton score first, and if they do score first, we've got a good chance of a bigger move in the draw odds to guarantee us a profit. Man United against Fulham is 0-0 at half time. This is a tricky match. Rasmus Højlund has been the player to get Man United out of jail and put them on a really good winning run at the moment, but he's injured. Only 2 shots on target for Man U, so I'll come back to that second half. So that Brighton match, certainly a good candidate for the lay the draw. We can come to that once the second half begins. So I can get rid of that finish match. So sloppy from Union Berlin today. I was a little concerned that they would even score 1 goal today. Such has been their poor record. But you can get rid of some of these matches in Finland. Don't need them. That's it. So we can get rid of the Bochum match. Well, Bochum do tend to score. They've had a couple of 1-1s, as you see recently. So I wonder if Mönchengladbach are short enough, they're layable enough with half an hour to go. So let's have a look at this one. And this is entering speculative territory, but it's looking at that both teams to score angle for Bochum. And I think in the research it was very interesting form for Bochum. Only been beaten by really big names. Yes, only 2 losses in 8 for Bochum have come against Dortmund and Bayer Leverkusen. Very strong, isn't it? Mönchengladbach have kept their stats run up, scoring 2 goals at least. But 2 score draws and 4 wins might give us some hope. 10 out of 15 goals conceded at home have come second half. So if they are to concede, it's going to be second half. If they are 1.05 odds, they are layable for me. Just as a throwaway, yeah, that's well worth doing, isn't it? So at 1.09, I would also look to back Bochum as well. You're not really looking for them to win, but if they can make it a quick 2-1, those odds of 70 are going to drop significantly. And you can have a really low liability play here with the possibility of really big returns. So I would just back that 75, but even £3. Rather nice. If we get a 2-1, because they have a both teams to score record, then we're going to see that 75 drop hugely. Mönchengladbach's odds are going to rise, and this is going to turn green. What's your maximum loss? £5.79. So it's not worry money. Got the potential of a great return there. So we'll look on that with interest. And look at them, they're lighting up the attacking pressure index. 86, 3 shots on, 6 off 5 corners. They've got the most dangerous attacks. 36 to 18. They've doubled the number of dangerous attacks. Now, when they say dangerous attacks, I think what they mean is the opponent is heading to or entering the opposition's penalty box. I'm not confirmed on that, but I think that's the inkling for a dangerous attack. As you can see there, they're really going for it. Similar story, Stuttgart. I would expect Stuttgart to aim for that win. They've had a really good recent run of wins, and they did score 2 goals against a very solid Bayer Leverkusen, likely to be the champions this season. FC Köln can't buy a win this season. They've only had 2 or 3, same as Darmstadt, I think. So we could be eyeing that second goal for Stuttgart, but I will delay a little bit further, unless you want to delay at odds on now and hope to capture that goal between the 75th and 90th minute. So Werder Bremen and Darmstadt, as you can see, this is pretty much frozen since the 62nd minute, so I'm not too keen on laying that draw just yet. I would have thought that this would be a match for Werder Bremen to either win today, because they're playing a lower tier side. Yeah, no problem. So I just want to go over to the YouTube now and again, make sure I'm not talking to myself as I was the other week for about half an hour. Made a lot of brilliant calls, but I can't prove it, of course. So Brighton and Everton, you want to lay the draw now, or do you want to delay? If you delay, you get shorter odds, of course, and lower liability. But if you do delay and you miss the goal, then there we have it. Don't forget, 5 0-0s at half-time away for Everton, only 1 at full-time. That's in your spreadsheet. So this is how you use the spreadsheet. 5 0-0s half-time away, only 1 at full-time. What have we got now? 5 0-0s. Both teams have scored in all homes against 12th and lower for Brighton. They're unbeaten at home against 11th and lower. Yes, a 0-0 is unbeaten, of course. And, well, you've got a Darmstadt goal to make it 1-2. So if you did lay the draw, you wouldn't be making a profit.
HJK Helsinki U20 Atlantis U20 is 0-2.
I don't need to know that, Dr. Stephen Hawking. I told you about this before. He's got an obsession with Finland, Dr. Stephen Hawking, and the under-20s. So if you laid the draw here, I think the draw odds would not rise. Well, it's a 78-minute goal for Darmstadt, and of course they desperately need points. So if you did lay the draw, you'd probably be seeing a profit. I just need to see the market change. Just make sure if you've got the in-play guru that this is still live. They've had some problems in recent weeks with the connection going down, and it takes a while for the goal to be registered. But it is there, look. Goal for Darmstadt. And this was a concern, wasn't it? An own goal for Werder Bremen as an opener. Skarka getting the second goal, a vital 3 points. You can have a look at the standings. You'll need this at the end of the season, these live standings, because they will change as goals come in. And you'll see the importance of this for Darmstadt.
Werder Bremen Darmstadt is 1-2.
Darmstadt's goal this season is to get 16th place, because this is a relegation playoff place. So they'll have one last swing of the bat to stay up. Realistically, I don't think they can get to Augsburg and the Wolf. It's 8 points difference which is nearly 3 full wins. Their aim is to get to 16th. Have a chance. And it's been disallowed. Darmstadt goal has been disallowed. So we're back, I think, to 1-1. If that's confirmed, then you take 2 points away from that and they're back to 13. Wolfsburg Werder Bremen doing all right. They're on the cusp of a European place. Who'd have thought that with the woeful seasons they've been having? They were down in the Bundesliga 2 very recently. VAR for Darmstadt. I'm not sure it's going to be accepted, but we will see. Union Berlin and Heidenheim. Very difficult this, because Heidenheim, as I say, unbeaten in 8 since, apart from meeting Bayer Leverkusen. Ah, poor old Darmstadt. That would have been a possible play there late on, I think. Bristol Rovers 2, Carlisle 1. Is that an odds-on favourite match? Let's have a look. Yeah, looks like they did the job. So Stuttgart and Köln, 78th minute. It's very quiet, and I'm even more gutted I didn't lay Aston Villa at 101. It's now 3-2 to Nottingham Forest. Exactly as I predicted. But getting Aston Villa 3-0 up at 101, you're laughing. Look at the odds increase now. I should have got on Shrews and I should have got on this. We'd be making some big gains if they can make it 3-3. We know they've got the both teams to score habit. Nottingham Forest. We know that this Aston Villa have been going through a bit of a wobbly patch. Look at this. This is going to be even more significantly higher, I would suspect. That is wrong. Should be 3-2, and the odds should be a lot higher. I normally pick these up and take action on them. Well worth doing with that both teams to score, and that goal before half-time for Forest would have given that team talk at half-time. Look at this, 1.01 up to 1.26. You would be getting very excited indeed. Look at this. That is pretty much as low as you can go. Now it's zooming back up. Laying at 1.01, it means for every £1 liability, you're going to win 100 quid, which is brilliant. See if I can get this graph down. I'm not sure. How can I get rid of the graph? Sorry, there we go. So that is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular for Aston Villa. Disappointed I didn't get on that. So we're going back to Germany because that's coming to an end soon. We're not really seeing any in-play action, are we, from them? We're seeing something from Southampton, certainly. But if you were involved already, do you want to get involved again? I could show you if you wanted to get involved again. Just topping up. So let's have a look at the Southampton match. So in this case, you'd lay over 3.5 goals, and it's still relatively low. But don't forget, these sides in relegation trouble are really doing well. So laying over 3.5 goals covers the 1-2 to win the amount of money you want to play with. Then you can check the +1 if it's reasonably high. Or does the market still expect? Well, it still expects, doesn't it? So you could top up the match odds and hope that they score next. That will take your averaging down, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to, of course. You're already sitting on a loss, and you could, in fact, if you wanted to, cash out and say to yourself, this isn't going the way I wanted it to go. I didn't cash out when I had the chance at 1-1. I could make a £10 loss, get 29 quid back in my bank. So it's up to you there. You could back Southampton again and lay Millwall again and hope that the Saints score the next goal, because those odds of that loss of 10 or 11 will be significantly shorter. And you can see that okay on the attacking pressure index. Mönchengladbach, well, we did lay them at very, very short odds in the hope that Bochum would score their usual second half goal, but it's 3-0 to Mönchengladbach, so we've got a maximum liability there of something like £5, so it's not really anything to worry about. Yeah, Darmstadt goal disallowed, real pity there. Possibility to lay that draw later on, of course, because they desperately need the win. Similar story for Stuttgart and Köln for two different reasons, looking at the live standings. Stuttgart, a win today will add another 2 points on, take them to 49 and just cement the Champions League place. FC Köln with an additional 2 points will take them a little bit nearer to Augsburg and cement that all-important relegation playoff place rather than being automatically relegated, and that will give Darmstadt and Mainz something to severely worry about. So it's vitally important, and when you get vitally important for two different reasons, then the draw is vulnerable. We'll be laying that draw as late as we dare. The in-play stats have been a bit poor recently. You can see they're not really lighting up. The attacking pressure index has gone a little bit quiet. So I'm quite happy to delay until I get to 1.25. Or you could even place your plays now. I'll show you how to do that.
Borussia Mönchengladbach Bochum is 3-0.
So you could go off to your Stuttgart match. Should have laid the draw second half in this match. And with Stuttgart scoring first, would have been okay. So we were going straight. Where am I going? 1.25, yes. So I'm looking to win £5. I'm personally going to start at 1.25. You could start at 1.5 if you wanted, because I had a run the other week of about 4 or 5 of these in a row, which I called correctly, ending the draw, but I was waiting for 1.25 and I didn't profit on any of them.
This market has been suspended.
So I like to do the 1.25 and then I go down to lay at 1.19 to win £5.
Bochum is 3-1.
There we go. There's the goal for Bochum. We could have had that goal at 2-1. Then we'd have got the profit. That's a real pity there. So they continue with their both teams to score, but it was the wrong way round. 1.14 to win £5. Then I'm going to move down to 1.09 odds. I'm going to increase my stake because the liability is so small. 99p liability to win £11. And my final piece of the pie, 1.06. And you can increase your stake markedly here to win £16 because it's still under £1. Maximum liability about £4.50. Maximum profit about £41 if they all get matched. And don't forget, desperate need for points. We could go to the wire. We could get to that 1.06 and lower. We've got a few of these in, and it's very nice when they come in. It's really good profit. It's about a 10 to 1 return or thereabouts. Sunderland are starting to wake up second half. Are you taken by them? New manager, thanks to Stephen. Certainly the Swans are layable if they're 1.06. If you fancy Sunderland today, you can see that 71 attacking pressure index. Had a half-time team talk. Only 2 shots on target, though. I suspect they're coming first half. So it's really not emphatic stats at the moment. I'm not getting the shots on target. Sorry, there they are. No second half shots on target yet for Sunderland. Coming to the hour mark. 3 shots off target and 1 corner. Good containment job for Swansea, who desperately need points. Don't forget that. So Stuttgart and Köln, I've drip laid the draw at 1.25 and lower. Not sure I'll do that with Werder Bremen and Darmstadt, to be honest myself. But if you wanted to, you know the risk and reward. It's about a 10 to 1 return if they all get matched. And Darmstadt desperately need points, of course, to get third bottom and that chance of a relegation playoff place rather than automatic relegation. So, very important. Mönchengladbach, job done. But had this been 2-0 to 2-1, we'd have been laughing. That would have been a really nice swing in the odds. With 15 minutes to go, that would have added some doubt to Borussia Mönchengladbach. But looks like they've got that vitally important third goal. So, called it right. Both teams to score second half. Man U and Fulham coming to the hour mark. Get Rasmus Højlund back, because they're looking very poor today, Manchester United. 2 shots on target, coming first half, I believe. 6 shots off target. None of them second half at all. 4 corners. None of them second half. So I think this is all down to the absence of Højlund. It's just put some doubt into the Man U team, because he has been the goal man. A superb recent run. So I'm not going to be laying that draw personally myself. Fulham, of course, will be keen, I think, to get a result. And Man United do have goals in them, but the vast majority of these are Højlund, as I say. I don't know who they've got up front today. Knowing Eric Den Haag, it'll be Harry Maguire up front or something stupid like that. Scott McTominay is on. He's normally your man for the late goals for Scotland and for Manchester United. That's significant. I don't know why Casemiro is in the side at all. Well, I know he's getting a hefty pension top up, but whenever I've seen him, he's looking very ineffectual. Not so Scott McTominay, much better choice. Rashford up front, old sulky. Garnacho on the right, works very well with Højlund. McTominay could be the man, I think, to get Man United out of jail here today. I think they'll be looking for Scott McTominay goal, as he's done for his country and for his club recently as well. If you look at some of the recent matches for Man United, you can do in the head-to-heads. Wonder who scored here. Højlund and Højlund and Højlund. There we go. So you get the idea. A huge absence. I wonder who scored here. Oh, look. Højlund and McTominay. That's what I'm talking about. 86th minute. So you might want to look at laying that very, very late draw. Those of you who fancied QPR against Rotherham, I'm not sure if I did because of the league position. But we've got the equaliser. And it looked to be thoroughly deserved as well. 5 shots on, 2 off and 7 corners to 0. So if you did lay Rotherham, well done. Still no difference really to the first half stats for Brighton. This is typical Everton, isn't it? They do flirt with 0-0s time and time again. But are we going to see Brighton or Everton's 0-0 at half time end second half? We hope so. Coming to the end of the match, Stuttgart and Köln. This is a sloppy performance from Stuttgart, or to give Köln their dues, they're trying to pick up points. They're aiming for the same as Darmstadt, get that relegation playoff place realistically as the only hope to get out of jail. We've got the lay of the draw in, so whoever fancies the winner will make us a nice return. I haven't done it in Werder Bremen Darmstadt's match. Man U, as we know, no Højlund today. Southampton, gone a little lukewarm. Is this down to Millwall's desperate need for points? Again, we can have a look at the English Championship. And looks like Aston Villa have made it 4-2. And we've got a possible play here if Fulham score first. We're going to have the McTominay show, I think, if Fulham score first. The red dot normally suggests a goal. So a possible play here. Shirley Bassey scoring for Fulham. McTominay on, Eriksson on. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. The stats are absolutely flat
It has been suspended.
for Manchester United, aren't they? Absolutely flat. Now, had I laid Aston Villa at 3-1 up, at 3-0 at 101, I would have got out at the 1.29. It's a huge swing relative, isn't it? I've only had 2 101s come in my trading career to fruition. Huge returns. But we could have got on that one, just as we could have got on that 0-2 Shrewsbury lead as well, which we missed out on, which is a real pity. Union Berlin, Heidenheim ends 2-2. I did warn you, get out. I hope you got out. You'll be sitting on a guaranteed return. As I say, Union Berlin don't lose when the market speaks. It's been a significant pattern of theirs, because I noticed it. I think I can show you while it's a little quieter. It's logical, really. If you're having such a poor season, why on earth does the market suddenly have you as odds-on favourite? That got me a little interested. I can show you with the challenge table before we move on to some possible plays. This is what I'm talking about here. All of these defeats, woeful stuff, and then suddenly they're inserted as odds-on favourite, odds-on favourite, favourite, favourite. And suddenly they start getting results. Favourite against the Hoff as well. Very interesting. That's what suggested to me that the market tend to read Union Berlin very well, which indeed they've done today as well. We made a nice profit on that 2-1. I hope you took the gift. So I think this is going to come to an end, Stuttgart and Köln, but we know our maximum loss. It's not going to be too much of a worry. Man United and Fulham. Well, Man United are going to have to wake up now. This is all down. There we go. That's your maximum loss. It's negligible, isn't it? Man United, Fulham. I don't know what to do here because Man United have not turned up second half. And we've got a late winner for Darmstadt. And I didn't do my drip lay there. What a pity. Oh. What a pity. Late win for Darmstadt. Do I lay over 1.5 goals? Is it going to be too high? 1.43. This is a tricky one. I would expect something like a Scott McTominay late equaliser, something like that. But Man United haven't turned up second half yet. Maybe I want to wait, see whether their in-play stats light up. I thought 1.65 was a little too short, given their key goal scorer is out today. They're a weird side, aren't they? Very weird side, Man United. Suddenly go on this excellent recent run, but just don't turn up today. Only a single goal against Fulham in November. So not turned up second half. No shots on target. No shots off target. No corners second half for Manchester United. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a breathing space. But if you wanted to have a go, you could lay Fulham if you fancied it. Back United at 6.5. I just get the inkling that we're going to get something like a McTominay equaliser or something like that at some point. Or we just wait for some more significant substitutions. Crystal Palace and Burnley, as I say, I won't play the new manager syndrome matches. Oh, handball for Darmstadt, gutted. Oh, 3 points, absolutely vital to their season. Oh, I'll probably wait for some more subs if there's going to be some subs. Let's have a look at the lineup. Mainu, Fernandes, Forson, he's a new name. Garnacho, Dalot, Varane, Maguire, Lindelof and Onana. Iwobi, what a class act he is. Didn't he play for Liverpool? Who's on the bench? Well, Anthony. It's not much of a forward line on the bench, is it? So it's not a strong Man United side today. Anthony Martial, you'd have liked to have seen him on the bench today. A proven goal scorer. But it's looks like a number of names we don't know. Bayindir, Collier, Kambwala. So not the most compelling United side at the moment. I will be waiting. Let's see if we can get a 0-1 for a bit longer and see if we can get an improvement in the in-play stats for Manchester United. Nothing second half at all yet. Saints looking very poor, but I got the 1-2 covered, thankfully. This is what we're going to be facing as traders February, March and April. Struggling sides winning. And I might have to mute the microphone. Bochum have scored 2 goals. Can you imagine if that was 2-0 Mönchengladbach and we got that lay on and we backed Bochum at 75s? They got 2 goals second half, but they conceded 2 goals as well second half. Oh, called it right, but they were too sloppy defensively. I think Forest Green are gettable. I might have a quick look there. They have produced some excellent profit for us, as I say, at 23-1. The absolute highlight against Newport County. Tranmere are looking good. Forest Green are just lacking that confidence there. But the problem is, if you insure yourself against the 1-0, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But you can severely reduce your liability by laying Forest Green at 1.38 and backing Tranmere Rovers at 20s. Don't forget, we backed Newport County at 23s and they won. So no worries. We've got history on our side. Forest Green, awful trouble. Yes, they do have a new manager. He might instill some change in them. But backing Tranmere, I tried to back enough to either get me to a tenner or get me to over 100 quid, like you see there. So that's about a tenner. I might put that forward to Telegrammers. Unless you wanted to just lay Forest Green, keep your liability even lower. But the idea of backing Tranmere is if Tranmere can get a late or a quick equaliser, those odds of 21 are going to drop significantly. Forest Green v Tranmere, English League 2. I've decided to lay Forest Green at 1.39 or as low as you can get. The market's a little illiquid. And a small back of Tranmere as well at 21s or higher. Forest Green have had a history of not winning when leading. Low liability, well worth a punt. So that's worth a go. Low liability, as you can see. It's just the reputation they have, really. 4 shots on 5 off 5 corners, not doing too shabbily, but only the 1 shot on target second half, 3 off target on 1 corner. Pressure building slowly. We've got 20 minutes to go, which is a long time if you're a Forest Green fan. And Everton have opened the scoring against Brighton. If you laid the draw odds are going to flatline now. This is a tricky one now because Everton are desperate need for points. The draw odds are going to flatline. What do I mean? I don't think I got round to laying the draw, did I? But if you did lay the draw, let's have a look. The draw odds flatlining means that the wrong team has scored. We needed Brighton to score to get the odds moving up. So I wonder if I laid the draw. I hope I did. That's match shots. No, I didn't. Look at the draw odds. Pretty much as you were. So I would always recommend in that particular case possibility of cashing out. So they did degrade quite a lot. It depends when you got involved. You wouldn't have got involved at its lowest point. Maybe 3s and are just up to 3.25. So if you did lay the draw, I would consider I would consider cashing out of that draw. How do I get this close. There we go. Okay. So I would consider, if you did lay the draw, to cash out. The wrong team has scored. I've got to pass this on to telegrammers. Unless you fancy Everton holding on. Brighton v Everton. We have seen an end to the draw, but the wrong team has scored, and the draw odds are pretty much as you were. So I would recommend in this case cashing out, taking a break even or a small profit. Now, the fact that the draw odds have not really significantly moved does suggest that the market's expecting of Brighton. Don't forget the both teams to score angle, but the very good defensive display from Everton, only the one shot on target for Brighton. 13 off though, so I think this is a possible goer. I might have to cover this 0-1. It's going to cost a little bit because it's very late in the match. And this is the problem if you take insurance out later on. It's going to cost you a lot more. Laying over 1.5 goals, as you know, covers the current scoreline of 0-1 to Everton. And I hope they don't revert to their earlier seasonal performances where they scored 2 goals to 0. I hope that's not the case. So laying over 1.5 goals, it costs quite a lot. So you might want to disregard the insurance because it's a bit of a hit, isn't it? Everton +1. If it's significantly higher than 1.73, by which I mean something like 3.4 or something, then we could get interested. No, we're not looking at Everton +1. We're looking at Brighton +1. I would say it's about 2.5, something like that. 2.74. There we go. I was quite near. So you could just have a look, see what kind of a profit you'd make. I've got to put that to £39.20. Compare that to my liability. So that's £66 potable profit relative to £29 loss. Yeah, so you definitely need Brighton scoring the next goal. Or you could have a look in the match odds market because it is a must win for both sides really. You could back Brighton at 12.5 if you want to half your stakes looking for a massive return, if you fancied it. So I could show you both of these. We're going to the Brighton +1. Backing that. You need Brighton to score next. So if you don't want to take your insurance out, we've got a goal back from Sunderland. If you did lay the Swans, it was an improved second half performance from Sunderland, wasn't it, stats wise? So this would be if Brighton do score the next goal, and it remains 1-1, or they go on and win, you will make £66 minus £29 insurance. Or if you just want to leave the insurance alone, in case Everton go on and score another goal, then your liability will be a lot shorter. Compare this to the match odds market, where you could split your stakes, of course. It's getting a bit late in the match for this, though, I would suggest, but the returns are going to be massive. Back Brighton at 12.5, or you could do this without taking insurance out at lower stakes. So you could back Brighton at 13.5, only looking for a quick goal from them, but Everton, I think, will have the bit between the teeth. They desperately need this win. This is a problem of playing at this stage of the season and discounting these relegation threatened sides. Again, using what you see here from the live standings, you see the significance of the possible win for Everton. Pushes them into 17th place. More significantly, it gives them a 3-point gap against Luton, who do have a game in hand, as do Sheffield United, but this is more about, I think, the squabble between Luton and Everton. So that's the significance of that. For Brighton, possibility of European football on the horizon, but they do need the win. take them up to the magical 40-point mark. So it's a tricky one, because I wouldn't be surprised with a second Everton goal, given what they did earlier on in the season. Right after they got the 10-point deduction, you saw them go on.
Sunderland Swansea is 1-2.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Stephen. So I didn't play the Sunderland-Swansea match, but that would have been your catalyst, that goal from Sunderland. So where are we going? Brighton and Everton. Just want to show you what Everton did after that 10-point deduction. And they're doing that today, keeping a 0-0 at half-time. It's no coincidence that they've had 5 0-0s at half-time and only 1 at full-time away from home. They went on this winning to nil streak. You'll remember that. 0-0 at half-time, 0-0 at half-time, 0-0 at half-time. This is what we're flirting with, the possibility of them scoring that second goal. And I think this was a deliberate ploy. Make sure you get that second goal.
This market has been suspended.
So you can't be caught and you get your 3 points. But of course it all goes pear-shaped once your opponent starts scoring. As you can see here. A couple of 0-0s. Again, a good advertisement for their defensive capabilities. Well, Tottenham have been in excellent form with Richarlison, so that's a good result. Man City, you're never going to win, are you? And Crystal Palace, they got a late equaliser there. So that's my concern with that Everton match, if you're getting involved. The possibility of them scoring that second goal. You don't want to see 2 consecutive goals if you've done an insurance play. Don't forget, most of this Brighton work was in the first half, particularly with the shots on target. But it's a good set of pressure shots off target, but this looks like it's your typical Everton absorbing everything and not faltering. So that's going to be interesting. Man United have started to wake up. This is what you wanted to see. 73rd minute shot on target. And we've got a Brighton red card. So that will have to. And I can't legislate ever for red cards. It's just unlucky. But we've got the insurance now on the 0-1. So that's going to play a part. But we're going to be out of kilter now because of the red card. When you do an insurance play, that profit should equal this loss. But it doesn't because of the red card. Now, if you're going to be ultra cautious, you're going to have to take the hit. Unless you're hoping for an Everton 0-1. But as I just alluded to, they tend to get that second goal in certain matches. So I would cash out here. And if you did the +1, your loss would be a lot shorter, a lot smaller. Don't forget you're taking £9 off that, so it will be a £10 loss if you did Brighton +1. 11v11, I think they would have done this. Have to get in again. So that just can't legislate for red cards, I'm afraid. There's nothing you can hedge a red card in. And this is just a lack of liquidity here. As you can see, I'm desperate to get out because the losses are moving upwards. So I'll hope this, there we go. So that's 22 minus 9. And it's going to be more here. So don't forget, these are either or. You either do match odds or you do +1. So you'll have to take the hit, I'm afraid. There's nothing you can do about it, the red card. And as I've just shown you, that ability for Everton to have scored 2 goals after keeping a clean sheet in the first half might come back with that red card. Brighton might still score, you never know. What we do need from the Saints, well, what I do need from the Saints is for them to keep it at 1-2, because I'll get out of jail. You might want to lay Fulham as late as possible here, if you fancy Man United. Certainly, They couldn't have been this poor for that long. 73rd minute, 74th minute, whole raft of 70th plus minute shots. Suddenly, 70th plus minute, they've started waking up. Don't forget, 86th minute when McTominay last played, or last got his goal in his last match. Diallo's come on for Mainu. So I would have... where does Diallo play? Centre forward, Amad Diallo. Don't know him that well at all. He's always been on the bench or not in the squad. So I will wait in hope for that Manchester United recovery. I'm not going to get involved just yet. Sunderland, are they going to turn this around? If you want to lay Swansea, by all means do. Anything under 1.25 is gettable. That Brighton red card, I didn't check whether it was a player on the pitch or not. We should do that. If it was your... No, it's Gilmore. Okay. It could be a member of staff. So do make sure you check your red cards. If it's a member of staff, then all of that work I did would be for nothing. But obviously the odds moved, so it was obviously a player. If it was a member of staff, you wouldn't have had the odds move. So let's have a look through. We've got the 1-0 covered. We're just looking for the possibility of Tranmere equalising against Forest Green, who just lacking that self-belief in crossing the line and getting the win. As I've alluded to, Pompey have been very poor against sides at the bottom of the league away from home. Let's have a look at Pompey. This is why I haven't laid the draw there. I learnt my lesson against Cheltenham. Where are they? Playing Charlton today. And let's have a look. And you can see, away from home, 0-1 win, 0-1 win, 0-1 win. Real trouble scoring. And against Cheltenham, 2-1 loss. And their Portsmouth's goal was an own goal. That's why I haven't got involved there. But Charlton against the top sides, 0-1 defeat. So you have been warned. It was a 2-2 last head-to-head though, but 0-1 defeat against second in the league. So obviously defensively sound against the Portsmouth, struggling to score against the bottom three sides. So that's why I haven't laid that draw there yet. Southampton is still kind of telling us they're going to get an equaliser. And there's a Man United equaliser if you got involved. And I bet you that's Scott McTominay. So I hope you got involved. I didn't pull the trigger yet. But the odds for Fulham were short enough. Well, they are as they are here, 1.33 there. So if you did get involved, well done. And I wonder if I got the right scorer. I bet you it's that boy. It's Harry Maguire. I told you he'd put Harry Maguire up front. Look at that. Wow. So if you did lay over 1.5 goals to cover that 0-1, I don't think I did that for Man United, did I? Significant goal. They've been on such a good run. And you've still got McTominay to come up with a late winner. So if you did get involved, well done. Don't forget to please go off on your own and do these things if you fancy. Don't wait for me to make a play. I know a lot of regular members do their own thing, which is excellent. They take the information, and if they like what they hear, they get involved. As you know, I sometimes can get too distracted with looking at all of these matches. But this could have been a possible play here, perhaps covering that 0-1. So that would have been an excellent one. VAR. Oh dear. So we'll just put a pause on that. See whether it will stand. So
Man UTD Fulham is 1-1.
well, we'll have
This
to
market has been suspended.
we'll have to confirm that, whether it's 1-1. Get rid of Red Bull. Absolutely dominant. Red card for Las Glint, so I don't think the 1.8 shots can get back into this. I wouldn't be playing anyway with that red card in tow. As you've just seen with Brighton. Now what you could do, of course, with that Brighton match, you could take a gamble that Everton will hold on. Because this is their modus operandi, isn't it? Keep a clean sheet, nick a goal. So I could have done that route. But
Goal. Man UTD Fulham is 1-1.
well, I need to be confirmed. We've got a Forest Green red card. Is that going to get Tranmere to wake up in the 89th minute and get an equaliser for us? Don't worry, we've got the 1-0 covered. That's the importance of taking out that insurance, isn't it? So that red card, can we see Tranmere get something out of the match? So I just want to see confirmation of that Man United goal. Looks like it stands. So it could be a late lay the draw here. 1.44 at the moment. I wish I got involved here. I hope you did. It certainly looks like it's that draw could be vulnerable late on. So I might get my lay in place. Don't forget, you can start at 1.44 if you wanted. You could even just back Man United, start drip backing, as I call it. This is what I mean by drip backing, looking to win £5 by focusing on a specific team. It's only going to cost you £1, and you can start building up your position. If you favour one particular team, keep your liability as low as possible because the clock is not our friend. So if this goes up even more, and this goes down even more, you can even just put a £2 here. Keep your liability low. Just start building it up. This got up to 5.6. That's going to cost another £1. And the good thing about it is you've got a kind of a break even on Fulham, but you're loading profit on Man United. So you're favouring one team, but you're not discounting the other team from scoring. So I've just lost my Football 24 again. There we go. Okay. So we could go in again if Man U's odds start rising a bit more. These are getting nice and low. So I'll get in again. So if Man U get to 5.86s, it's significant that their odds are not rising markedly. The market fancies something from United here. So our liability is up to £3.81 at the moment. This is not moving, is it? So I might have to get involved again. So this is an alternative to just laying the draw. If you fancied one team, then you could always, this would be good, because if you get a goal and Fulham score it, you won't lose. But if Man U score, you'll start making your green. So we're getting lower. This is Man United's odds are still diminishing, so I might come back to that. Just give it a little bit of breathing space. Southampton, we've got the 0-1, we've got the 1-2 covered, so no need to worry at the moment. Again, significant, isn't it? They're still holding on to the lead. 21st, 19th in League One, 18th in the Championship, 17th in the Premier League. It's that part of the season where the strugglers start winning. The mighty Forest Green. Charlton, well, they're holding Pompey, but we know already. If you wanted to back 0-1 Portsmouth, by all means do. You've seen their 3 0-1 wins away from home against the bottom 3. QPR winning, 22nd in the league. Plymouth winning, 17th in the league. Amazing, isn't it? No coincidence. They all start picking up points. Just, it's desperation stakes. That's the only reason. So I'll go back to the Man United game because we should have seen an increase in the odds. Yeah, up to 6.8. Oh, sorry, I don't want to back Fulham. No, I don't want to back Fulham. It's not going to cost much anyway. So Man United 7.2 to win a fiver. Lay the draw. 1.24. Might have to get a drink. The stream will be ending soon anyway. My voice is going. Sound like Bonnie Tyler. A late Brighton equaliser. Ah, all that work I did. And they equalise late on. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. But I think I made the logical choice, not the... Oh, now.
This market has been suspended.
Who's got the goal? Who's got the goal? Fulham have got the goal. There we go. There we go. So we haven't made a loss. So that could be something to add to your armoury. 90th plus minute, Fulham win. Wow. Now that was excellent, wasn't it? So it's a nice little technique. If you want to load up on one team, but you don't want to lose if the other team score, particularly if it's a neutral play like a draw, that's the way to do it. And I did back Fulham at 16.5 by accident, but that didn't get matched, which was a pity. Or it did get matched, because I was only looking to win a fiver. So there we go. I would take the green. It's not significant, but if you kept building your position, you were aiming for a break even on Fulham. Loading up on Man U. Gonna have to get a drink in a minute. Excuse me. So, not too shabby. Oh, that looks very, very tempting, doesn't it? But I think we're entering into Fergie time. Thankfully, because my voice is disappearing. Wow. Well, 113 attacking pressure index normally signifies a goal. This will be a disappointing defeat for Manchester United. But again, it's a good example to you of a neutral. There we go, that's that boy Iwobi I was mentioning before. Class act. Alex Iwobi. Really, really good player. Could get a vital 3 points for Fulham. Look at what this has done in the live standings to Fulham. 32 points. Most importantly, he's got them into the 30 plus point barrier.
This market has been suspended.
I wonder if that's an equaliser. Well, it is Fergie time, that's for sure. This match will probably be going till about 10 p.m. until Man United get an equaliser. Or tomorrow afternoon they'll still be playing. Southampton ends 1-2. That's the importance of insurance. You've got that 1-2 covered for that second play. Another lesson, if you get a goal before half-time, consider cashing out. Take the gift, as you did with Union Berlin. So that's good stuff with Man United. We didn't get a loss there. And we did get that lay the draw in. Southampton ends. Looks like the Shrews are holding on. 19th in the league, vital points. Sunderland, new manager, not happy. Forest Green, Tranmere, we've got the insurance cover, I think. So that 1-0, not a significant problem. And the red card should have really got us something out of Tranmere Rovers today. What a pity. Charlton and Pompey, well, we know already about Pompey's woes against the bottom three. Don't tend to score that much. Against Cheltenham in defeat, the goal was an own goal. And 0-1 wins against the bottom three away from home. Or those that they've played. You could lay the late draw if you fancied it, given both teams need the win, of course, for different reasons. Oh, I wonder if this will be a late McTominay flurry. You could take that £6. It's highly unlikely to occur, but just take a quid or two out of that. Build up your position on the draw. 86th minute was the last time McTominay scored. He is. There we go. Good win for Fulham, that one. Charlton and Portsmouth probably far too late now. No. Desperate need for points, don't forget. So keep your liability low because the clock is not our friend, but the odds are. I wouldn't be playing 1.11 because it's illiquid. I would be looking at 1.07, something like that. As you can see, you can win a decent amount. And this is desperation stakes for both sides as well, for different reasons. Portsmouth have that 0-1 record. So we'll keep that. About a £3 loss if it doesn't come in. 10 shots on... Oh, that's Plymouth. Really good performance from Mount. I didn't get involved in that match, thankfully. QPR, I should have got involved, shouldn't I? Market got them spot on, 1.61. Coming from behind to win, 2-1. And Fulham end with Alex Iwobi's goal. Superb stuff from Fulham, well done. And we've got a new possible technique, haven't we? For laying the late draw. Instead of drip laying,
Market has been suspended.
if you actually fancied one team, you could start drip backing and then drip laying the draw to make sure that you don't get a significant loss if you get a surprise winner as you've got there. But that's the beauty of laying the draw as a neutral play. It doesn't matter who scores. You will profit. So good stuff there. Looks like Charlton and Pompey's probably come to an end. Let's have a look, just have a quick sweep through, and I'll be heading off to Telegram now after this for members. Just catching up with the early evening matches. So it's been a good old session. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've made some green. And I hope you've seen the significance of greening up in so many of those matches that ended in a draw. You actually made a profit on the win because they were winning at one stage. Brighton and Everton, well, had I stayed in, I would have profited with that Brighton goal. So, c'est la vie, eh? I was just thrown by the red card. You would have absolutely cleaned up in the +1 market. 30, 40 quid. Would have been very nice indeed. So we've got Salernitana starting at the moment. They're going down, I would suspect. Not much really to keep us here at the moment. Yverdon Sports newly relegated, newly promoted. Stade Lausanne newly promoted as well. So I'll be looking at these matches coming up. Bournemouth Man City, of course. Bournemouth could arguably get a result or get a goal. It'd be nice if they scored first. Arsenal and Newcastle. I think Arsenal's odds are far too short for me with Newcastle unbeaten in 4 matches. I'll look forward to that being tested. Bayern Munich, no more Thomas Tuchel, so no more research from me. It's a derby style match as well. The odds have actually risen from 1.45 up to 1.73. Don't look like a good proposition at all. Watching brief or not at all. Alaves and Mallorca. Alaves will fancy this. They've been in very good home form. Almeria yet to win a match this season. They did score 2 goals against Barcelona, scored 2 goals against Real Madrid. Can they score 2 goals against Atletico Madrid? That would be fascinating. Fenerbahce, Kazan-Pasa, possibility to lay the draw second half if it's significantly shorter than 7.5, of course. Belgian Jupiler League, odds-on favourites Mechelen, part of our group. Poulsen, 1.22. If this is 0-0 after 20 minutes, look at the stats. They might get a goal before half-time. So we've got a Hapoel Beersheva, my favourite team, but they're not favourite today. But they could still be competitive. They are one of the league leaders. All hail to the Ale, Hapoel Beersheva. 3rd in the league. So they could do with getting a win against Maccabi Tel Aviv today. But Maccabi Tel Aviv, with a win today, will go top. Huge incentive. Should be a fascinating match, that. But normally, Hapoel Beersheva are favourite and they perform like favourite. So that's it at the moment. Thanks very much for all of you that's come along. I hope you've made some green screens. I hope you've enjoyed it. Come along tomorrow. We've got another live stream tomorrow for members only from about 2 p.m. tomorrow. I think that's a normal start time for the Italian Serie A. So thanks very much for all of you coming along. I'll say goodbye to you now, and I'll get myself a drink because the voice is going. And I'll see you over here on Telegram for the rest of the evening. Have a great night. Thank you very much for coming.